Brandon Lang, who said take Syracuse, although I do believe you said, I'm not saying they're going to win, but, you know, that spread is a big spread. Take Syracuse against Clemson. And look what, Brandon, was that shocking or what?
You know, when I handicapped the game after going off air Friday, when I wrote my analysis for the game, which I pride myself in, because when you buy a pick, you read my analysis, or of all my handicappers, you find out that we know what we're talking about. The two receivers have combined 300 and something catches. I think both are going to play on Sunday. And I just said, you know what? This is the first team that Clemson has faced that can stretch the field.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? So my analysis said it wouldn't surprise me. If they win the turnover battle, it wouldn't surprise me if they shocked the world. And they did. And I tell you what, man, it's always good to have a season where you have a 24-point underdog wins the game outright. Yeah. Makes it pretty good.
What are we all going to be saying on Sunday after Syracuse beats Miami? I wonder.
Wow.
What are the chances of that happening?
I think that's a big hurdle only because of the situation. You're dealing with kids, and that big an upset, it's hard to reset and recharge.
Right.
If they were playing at home at the Carrier Dome, your home crowd can carry you through that. But on the road, when things start to go bad and you got to dig down, you know, it's tough. It's a very, very tough situation. They're going to have to shake off this upset and treat it like a new week, and that's the hardest thing to do for kids.
And I got to tell you, it's what? What's the spread on that game right now? Is it like 8 points or something?
It's anywhere between 7 and 9.
So I got to tell you, I wouldn't, and I'm not a bettor. I'm not an expert at football. I watch the Bills every weekend. I'm dedicated. I don't ever miss a game, but I'm not smart in that regard. But I wouldn't touch this game with a 10-foot pole, just because it's college ball and emotions and the kids thing. That's a big deal when you talk about that.
I agree, and again, I often use the line, you can find value elsewhere to mess with a team coming off an upset like that in an emotional situation. Now, that being said, if it were a single game on a Friday night again and I had to touch it, well, then I would. But it's not a game I'm going to even go near or even begin to handicap.
All right. So,
although it wouldn't surprise me if the Qs cover the number.
I'll throw you a couple games here, and we'll throw out the Bills hosting Tampa Bay at 1 o'clock on Sunday.
Bucks 1-6 against the spread last 7 games since 2016. Just not covering the number. And I think the Bills are in a good spot. 4-1 against the spread this year, and they're under 5 of their last 6 since late 2016. So lean toward the Bills in the under, maybe a little 2-team teaser, but I think Buffalo's a good play this week.
Miami hosts the Jets.
Boy, this is a series that when these two get together, it's all Jets. I gave a number on your show last week when you asked me about the Jets in New England. The Jets had covered 6 of the last 7 versus Belichick. Well, here they are in Miami, where they've covered 6 of the last 7 in this series, including the September 24th, where they got the job done. Also, the Jets are 5-0-1 against the spread last 6 in Miami. I like the Jets.
And Manaski's Giants finally won a game.
Wow. As shocking a win as you will see this entire year in the NFL, the entire world, including myself, who talked about Denver being a blowout on radio, just goes to show you as good a call as I made on radio with Syracuse and put Syracuse on the website was as poorly handicapped as thinking Denver was just going to sack Eli, put him in the hospital, Papa John's Pizzas delivers a pizza and revives him back to life. That did not happen. Kudos to the Giants in that win.
It was the only pick you got wrong last week, and I'll tell you, I was shocked. How does Denver, coming off a bye with the talent they have, and the Giants have no wide receivers? Listen, I'm a Giants fan. I am shocked that they won that game.
Yep, I'll answer it for you. When you handicap games, it's very easy to fall in love with one certain situation, and the way that game was handicapped by everybody was the Giant offense against the Denver defense. Well, they're just not going to be able to do anything. Well, guess what? That's still a really good Giant defense going against a vanilla offense with a quarterback that can't stretch the field. And so the matchup that favored the Giants was their defense versus Denver's offense. That's where everybody missed it. Everybody just saw no wide receivers, no running game, no offensive line. Well, when your defense gets turnovers and when your defense plays as well as and matched up as well with Denver as they did, there's the ruse. There's the winner staring you right in the face.
It was interesting, too, you mentioned the running game. Darkwa ran off like a 47-yard run at one point during the game. Didn't get into the end zone on that play, but that was, because I tracked this stuff, the longest run by 100. The previous long for the Giants rushing game this year was 23 yards. He pulled one off for 47 yards. They had more rushing yards in the first quarter of that game than they had in any other game previously this season. It was
talking to
stunning.
To Brandon Lang. It's BrandonLang.com before you do anything extracurricularly. Is that any good?
That's not a word.
I know. You want to go to Brandon's website, BrandonLang.com. And Brandon, finally, Yankees down.
What was his pick on the Giants?
What's your pick on the Giants?
Seattle Giants. Pete Carroll's won and covered all 4 trips to New York.
Right.
The Giants, Seattle's the right side of that game. The Giants, they'll cover that number.
Yankees down 0-2. Looks like they're going to go down to 3 games, 0-3, and they pull it out. And now look at them. What's going on here? Are they going to? Is it going to be Yankees Dodgers?
If they beat Verlander, they'll win Game 7. They'll win Game 7. If they beat Verlander, they will go on to win Game 7. If they lose to Verlander, they won't win Game 7.
Okay. Well, so if they win on Friday night, they're done. They're into the World Series. So if they lose Friday night, you don't think they win on Saturday?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Because you gotta put because to beat Verlander and puts them in the World Series, the guy they're gonna if they lose to Verlander, the momentum shifts back to Houston. I don't think they can get it back.
Okay.
That New York crowd, I was there. I was at the Cleveland Game 4, and I got to tell you, the electricity of that stadium and what it does to those players, you have to be there to really understand how they get caught up in it, what they do. But they're back in Houston now, and that's a tough place to play. So if they beat Verlander, I mean, kudos. But I don't think if they lose, they have to win Game 6. If it goes to Game 7, they can't win Game 7 on the road.
And there's a little thing called momentum. What's the value of momentum? It's certainly in the Yankees' favor right now. They have the momentum, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Brandon Lang, go to BrandonLang.com. As always, we appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys.
All right. By the way, are the Packers playing this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, they are.
I'm glad you didn't ask. That's fine.
Yeah, because it's
I know what he would have said. Oh, Aaron Rodgers can't lose me any money this season.